Hi everyone, it's Pamela coming to you on Thanksgiving Day, and I wanted to give you a little bit of a mini class on some support and a few tools from our toolkit on how to navigate grief, specifically during the holidays when you're surrounded by so many more people. So I thought I would give you a couple of little tips and tools of functioning around other people while you're navigating your grief. So first and foremost, I always want to remind you that you get to have whatever kind of holiday or experience that you need to have. You always want to come back to the core of your griever's rights. You have the right to grieve the way you're grieving. You have the right to be around people. You have the right to not be around people. I understand that's easier said than done sometimes during the holidays, which is why I'm also giving you tools and tips for when you're around people and you really feel maybe overwhelmed or not seen or not heard, or maybe someone's really looking to sort of encapsulate your experience for you by giving you either spiritual whitewashing, oh, they're with God now, so everything's okay, or toxic positivity, at least they're not in pain, or any of the kinds of things that uninformed, grief illiterate people bring to the table when they encounter a griever. And of course, during Thanksgiving and the holidays, you may be interacting with far more people than you might be comfortable being around. And you might also be interacting with people that normally just aren't on your radar, family members that you have very different worldviews from, or people who you're just not in choice most of the time, but sometimes you end up at these functions and gatherings. And I want to have you manage this day in the most healthy, supported way possible. So some of the things that you might feel coming up are, again, this maybe a need to isolate. And I'm not pathologizing any of this. Whatever you're experiencing, that's right and that's healthy for you. But your awareness around it and your acknowledging it really helps support yourself. So if you find yourself, dreading going to a gathering, it's okay to just stop and sit down and maybe ground yourself, get your feet on the ground or on the floor, and just take a couple of breaths and slow it down. Just slow it down, because the more we get in our head, the more we're then going to create anxiety about the gathering. We're going to, kind of have a bias about how it goes, which then our ego then works hard to prove us right. If you are going to need to be in a gathering, I want to have you as balanced and centered and supported going in as possible. So in a minute, we're going to do one of my guided imageries for just kind of setting the stage for boundaries and dealing with other people, whoever they are and however they fit into your life or not. If you're dealing with them today, I want you to have some tools. So you might want to start by grabbing a pen and paper and writing out maybe an ideal scenario of how today would go around the people that you're going to encounter. Maybe there would be a surprise guest or person at whatever gathering you're going to, assuming you're going to a gathering, that might be an incredibly supportive person that has had a profound loss of a loved one and understands what it means to navigate grief in a grief illiterate culture and world. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to understand your exact grief experience, of course, because yours is a unique thumbprint. But having sort of a grief ally it would really be quite powerful. So you might sort of vision board out what's the ideal Thanksgiving day that you might have today. Is it, I would like, I see myself getting there, people greet me, but they don't bombard me, or everyone's asking how I am and that feels good, or whatever it is you need. Or I personally am rather hermetic. So for me, I'm usually like, I want my space and my boundaries set before I'm interacting with people. So I often have to do that with myself before I go to gatherings. And it may be something that you can bring to the gathering as well, where you might say to the host or hostess, hey, I'm going to get there, you know, bring in the pie or whatever it is you're doing, and say, I'm going to get there, but I'd like to just maybe be able to go into a space and have some privacy and decompress. Any chance you've got like a safe room in the house, a back bedroom, a bathroom that won't be used much, that I could kind of have as my little space if I get overwhelmed, if I really get overly emotional, if somebody says something that really activates me, I don't really want to make the day about my grief. I would like to just kind of have a way to navigate this as best as possible. And then I won't bother you. I'll just be, you know, I'll be able to manage my own experience better if I have a space where I can go and maybe do this guided imagery again, or sit and do some breath work, or just do some rooted grounding work and just some stillness and quiet. Because the social aspect of a lot of people talking to you, you know, maybe football games on, music, alcohol, highly seasoned food, rich food like at Thanksgiving, all of those things are pieces that get added into the mix. And when you are a bit raw and vulnerable in grief, all of those things, you know, in my self-care workshops and in my rest workshops, I talk about how it's not just being alone and sleeping. All of these other aspects, you need rest from a lot of people. You need rest from conversation. You need rest from answering questions. How are you? They're all good and well-intentioned, which is fantastic, but you might really need to detach from people if, you know, if your loss was recent. Now, this is in relation to how they're perceiving it. As you know, I don't put a timeline on grief, but if you are with people who think, oh my gosh, they, you know, it was 2 months ago, you're going to have people asking, how are you doing? What happened? You know, you might be getting a lot of bombardment of all the questions that you simply may not be in a space to answer. So remember, create your back pocket sentences in advance. Thank you so much for asking. I think I'm just going to focus on navigating this Thanksgiving. It's a lot to deal with. I'm just kind of managing a lot of my feelings right now. I'll circle back with you on another day when I feel able to talk with people or to do a deeper dive. Like, you get to say, if you want, thanks, no. No is a complete sentence. But it, you know, on a day like today, you don't, you know, you want to try to just navigate this without having to be overreactive from people. You know, some people are, you know me, some people are going to be assholes. Some people are going to be completely obtuse to your experience. Some people aren't going to listen to you when you say no. So that's why this idea of setting up a safe space, you might need to go out and be in your car a few times a day and just have some silence. But I think if you have an ally in the host or hostess where they just know, like, look, I don't need anything from you. I'm not, you know, going over here so people chase me down or ask me what's wrong. I literally need gaps between people and food and celebration and all the gratitude and all of these things because I'm in mourning. I'm in mourning. Or if it has been, you know, a longer period of time, again, not for you, but for the people around you who don't understand that grief doesn't have a linear time way that it plays out. It may be your back pocket sentence, maybe, let's say your loss was 2 years ago, just for conversation's sake. It may be that you can say, hey, you know what? Thanksgiving is quite challenging for me. Thanks for asking. I'm really in a space where I'm thinking a lot about my loved one, and it's such an internal experience that, you know, it may look like I'm not participating, but it's actually a lot for me to be here. So thanks for chatting with me. I'm just going to go and be in some quiet and and do what I need to do for me. Like, you need to make these up based on your language, but you get to say no, you get to set boundaries, and you get to, it doesn't have to be so polarized in black and white where you're either there or you're not there, or you're, completely immersed in talking to people and interacting and you never get breaks. That's ridiculous. You get breaks. You get to have breaks. But before you go in, acknowledging your experience. How are you feeling today? You might be having a great day where out of nowhere, you're able to feel supported by others. You're able to have conversations. You're able to, feel some gratitude for Thanksgiving or whatever your gathering does, where they go around the table and everybody says what they're grateful for. You get to absent yourself from that, or you get to participate. It is completely your decision, and you have the right to participate as much or as little as you want to. And you may also find, gosh, sometimes I'm feeling really good. I think I can do this. And then out of nowhere, blammo, all of a sudden you're completely unable to interact with people in this setting. You're deep in at this point. I want you to have a setup in advance where you can go, where you get to be alone and have the stillness and the rest, and so that you can compartmentalize a bit and titrate this experience that is such a big day, so full of stimulation and people and memories and emotion. And like I said, sometimes people that you just would never want to be around, especially in a vulnerable or raw space of grieving, and mourning. So what I would do in advance, talk to the host or hostess, say, is there a little spot, like, this really is just for me. I don't need anything, maybe a glass of water when I go in, and you get to just say, excuse me. You don't have to explain what you're doing to anyone. And depending on your circumstances, you can say to the host or hostess, look, I don't really want anybody to kind of know that I'm doing this. I just need to do this for myself because it's a big day and I'm navigating this the best I can. So, I don't want to make this about me. I just need to meet my needs. So can you help me with, a space? If somebody says, hey, where's Pamela? You can give them like, oh, they're just taking a break for a second. Get an ally. Maybe it's not the host or hostess. Maybe they're so busy with their day. I usually host Thanksgiving, so I know what that can be like. But a good host or hostess is going to want to accommodate your needs, and they should understand this. And they really could be your ally. So what you want to do is some of the things you might notice. Let's say you're having a great experience. Gosh, I'm doing better than I thought I would be doing. I'm in here. I'm, easy on the alcohol. And easy on a lot of stimulants, too much coffee, too much sugar, all of that. It actually just starts to kind of chip away at your nervous system. The noise, the conversations, the questions, the lights, the memories, the food, the alcohol. Maybe you have an uncle that's smoking a pipe nonstop in your face or something. Like, all of these things are pieces. I think of it as the Jenga game. And each one of these becomes a piece. And then at some point you might think, I'm feeling overwhelmed, but what I want for you is I want you to be able to notice the earlier signs of overwhelmment, so that all of a sudden you're not just a puddle on the floor, hysterical, and now it's like a thing and you just want to get out of there. I want you to have ways to navigate this if that's what you want for the day, is to be in a group setting. So I would say here's a couple of early warning signs that you've taken on too much. It may be obviously feeling anxious. Notice your body. Are you rapid breathing? Are you feeling a little dizzy? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling, make sure also, like, dehydration is a symptom and a sign and a crucial aspect, that you need to stay hydrated. That really helps your nervous system. It's amazing. That's why the alcohol and things and the rich foods and the salty foods and all that, that's great. Enjoy, have a beautiful Thanksgiving full of everything that you can have it be for you right now. But dehydration is not a small thing. And it really, it's a bit ravaging for the nervous system. So that's another piece that's not helping you feel supported and present and hold space for yourself in a supportive way. So you might feel restless. You might just feel irritated or irritable. Owning these things and being aware of them and saying is bearing witness to, hey, you know what? I might be overdoing it a little bit here. And I'm the only one that can hold space for you. I mean, unless you go to Thanksgiving with your therapist or your grief coach, which is why I'm here, you kind of need to try to hold space for yourself, because just putting it on someone else to take care of you on Thanksgiving, it's not really good self-care, actually, because this is something that you can navigate. So are you feeling impatient with others? Are you feeling quite reactive? Are you feeling frustrated from that one person that keeps, treating you like your grief is a problem that can be solved? You got to get away from that person. This isn't your job to teach them or train them or be their therapist. They're not going to understand this. Someday they're going to have a massive, profound loss of a loved one. Well, then they're going to understand what this means. But hopefully maybe they'll never experience this, but it is such a big part of the human experience that the odds are. But for most people, if they have not experienced the profound loss of a loved one, they don't have a clue as to what this is and what this, all aspects of this. So watch out for problem solvers, and that may have you feeling, irritated and angry, and watch for what different emotions come up. Honor them. Know that anger and fear are trying to protect you. So if you're feeling angry, frustrated, any of those that kind of pop up that are reactive, fear, the anxiety, some part of you is saying, I don't feel safe right now. And so one of the things we can do in a positive way is then get to that safe space. Go out to your car, sit in the car, maybe do some humming. Humming creates a vibration that helps calm the nervous system. So just, you could hum a song. You could put on some comforting music. If in advance you've made a comforting playlist, that's a really powerful thing to do on through the holidays, that you have a space where you can go and just listen to this comforting playlist, and maybe do some of the grief movement that we're doing. Go back to the session number 1, which we did last week in grief movement, that talks about grief movement, and the first one was awareness. So if you're just feeling overwhelmed and you're starting to feel reactive and emotional, but you don't really have the ability to pinpoint that emotion because it's coming on too fast, go to a safe space and do some of those grief movement I hate the word exercises, do some of those grief movements and just bear witness to your experience and say, gosh, I'm feeling like I'm a little scattered and I'm not able to concentrate, or I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling frustrated. Try to name the emotion. And as you do, it might create some unlayering to deeper and deeper emotions. Like, okay, I'm aware that I'm feeling, let's say, angry. I'm feeling reactive and angry that person just said that to me. Something, ridiculous. Like, oh, aren't you over this yet? That kind of crap. So you might be in this safe space. You're creating a safe space by, detaching and being with yourself. Maybe some nice comforting music, some humming, some grief movement, so that you're getting in a space of true self-support. So then you can look at what's happening and say, pretty sure I can identify this as anger. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Anger is about protecting you. So you might be aware of that and say, wow, that's really beautiful that some part of me was so keyed in that I didn't feel safe and I needed to be protected. Well, I did this by absenting myself from that scenario. I mean, you get to choose if you go back in or not, or you go back in and you completely avoid that person. And then under the anger, as you bear witness to that, there may be something else. There may be sadness, that you didn't feel seen by that person, or that you were treated as a problem instead of a person, or that they treated your grief as so solvable, as if it's, yeah. So, and then under the sadness may be fear. There can be these layers, and just holding space with this is very supportive for you. This is how you can support you when you don't have a grief coach holding your hand with you, which I would be there with you if I could, because I love holding people's hands in scenarios. In fact, that's one of the things about yoga and using the body and doing some of these compressions and self hugs. It's really supportive, and it's like you're using the body as a tool to feel more supported. So later today, I'm going to do our regular Thursday 4 o'clock, and it's going to be the next session in the grief movement series. And it's going to be about expression and moving energy and emotion. So that'll be a nice one to watch whenever you can. So let's just do a quick guided imagery just to get you set up. But so be aware of what your own expression is of, wow, I'm not feeling good in this moment. And the challenge is trying to separate it from your grief, that you're coming in with this massive experience, and then you're getting these other people and these other experiences, and the sound and the lights and the music and the food and the wine and the all of this stuff layered on top of it. It's a lot. I commend you for even considering going into that experience. But just know that you can titrate it, you can take it into little chunks, you don't have to swallow it all at once. Give yourself room and space and a safe space. Find an ally like your host or hostess, and check in with yourself all throughout the day, and honor whatever comes up. So, and never feel guilty. Never feel guilty. This is so massive to navigate the holidays in grief. It's massive. So if you're feeling guilty or regretful, that's kind of being stuck in the past. I want you in present time, and the body helps you get to present time, because the body functions in the present. It's not in guilt or regret. It's not in anxiety or worry or problem solving, which is the future. It's in the moment. And your emotions are in the moment as well. So when you acknowledge your emotions, you honor them, you use the body, you're being in the present time. And that is far more powerful than being stuck in the past with guilt, regret, shame, blame, whatever, or anxiety, fear, all of that, projecting yourself into the future. So being in the present moment is where you're firing on all cylinders, and you are more empowered in the present moment. So let's do a quick little guided imagery. This is a truncated version of the of just sort of setting the tone of going into being around other people. I usually do this exercise very much about conflict resolution with one person, but I'm going to make it a little more broad to being around just other people. So get comfortable. Don't do this while you're driving. Just before we finish, I just want to say I love you. I'm sending you so much love for today. And, it's a day where everybody is just so focused on, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? And you may not feel grateful for anything, and that's okay. But I'm grateful for you, and I'm sending you love and support and comfort and a great big supportive hug. And just think of me, I'm holding your hand throughout the day when you do these things, okay? And try to watch the 4 o'clock. That'll be live as well. So let's just take a beat for a second here, and sit or lay back, whatever you need to do, and just feel your feet on the ground and slow it down. One of the things we can do when we're feeling overwhelmed, either inside ourselves or outside when being around other people, is really slow it down. You get to slow down your interactions with other people. You don't have to feel forced to answer questions or to engage. There is no pressure. You get to release any pressure on you to interact in any way other than what feels right and safe for you. And coming from this place that we're going to access right now helps you find a little more of that source of being in the moment and being aware and finding ways to self-support. So I want you to be aware of roots growing out of the bottom of your feet, deep, deep, deep down into the earth, grounding you into Mother Earth, helping you feel very supported, very strong, and very nourished by Mother Earth. Notice any sounds around you. I'm outside and you may be able to hear some of the birds tweeting around me. Maybe some of the breeze in the trees rustling the leaves you can hear behind me. You might be able to hear some of the frogs croaking near me. And just hold this space of awareness and envision a big circle of light or color or love surrounding you. It can be of any size. Just be aware of that big circle around you. And that circle is filled with light. You can even envision your heart as the very center of that circle. You are supported by that circle. Filling up that circle is unconditional love and unconditional support. And just hold some space in that circle. You can feel it expand. Let it fill up with whatever you imagine would fill up this space of unconditional love and unconditional support just for you. You can have this circle turn into any shape, any size. What could it be? How big is it? Can you stretch your arms out in it? Have it go overhead and even underfoot? It's all around you. This unconditional love and unconditional support. And right now I have a hummingbird showing up in my space of unconditional love and support. If you can hear that deep humming of their wings, imagine that resonance coming into your space, filling up your heart with this knowing and this awareness and feeling of this unconditional love and unconditional support. Are there other parts of your body that feel deeply connected to this space of love and support? Is it your feet grounded deep into the earth? Is it your sits bones as you feel a cushion or a chair or whatever you're seated on making contact with that solidness? Is it in your belly, deep inside, in your torso, filling you up from the center? Crowding out room that might have been taken up by any anxiety or fears or worries. Just let them get pushed out. They can go out into that big circle. The unconditional love and support knows what to do with that. And you can see that kind of emotion or energy, it can get absorbed into the support and the love. It's big enough to take it. It can handle it. And feel your heart enveloped by this. It's like you're porous, and all this unconditional love and support flows into your body and through you. You're a part of it, and it is a part of you. You can feel your heart as it expands and contracts with your heartbeat. Is it in your throat? You can feel this permeating your throat and your chest. Your breath can take it in, and every breath breathes out anything you don't need to get transmuted into this love and support. And it just makes it stronger and more supportive and more loving, all for you. As you expand your awareness around your throat and this area of expression, know that you have this support and love in the space of communication for today. That whatever comes towards you, that you have the ability to express in a balanced way your needs, your rights, your experience, and your boundaries. And even in this moment right now, in this utterly safe space, you can say out loud a couple of sentences that would feel right for you should you need to set a boundary with anyone today. I'll say a few that feel right to me, and then you can repeat them and make up your own. I can say, thank you for asking about me. I'm going to just be very quiet today, and I'm just going to take in this day as I need to. But thank you for asking. Or I might say, I'm not talking about that today. I'm focusing on life, but thank you for asking. Or I might say, I'm not interested in that right now, but thank you for asking. I might say, no, thank you. Holding all these beautiful options where you get to create a healthy boundary for you with people. And you can envision that as you say these phrases. See what it does within that beautiful, unconditional, and loving and supportive space. What happens in there? What do you see change? If you need to, you can envision other people, safe people or unsafe people, outside of this unconditional love and supportive space where you can say these things to them. You can see their face. It can be specific to one person, or it can be just people in general, or it can be your people in general. Whatever comes up for you. If nothing comes up on its own, you can imagine it. Imagine the people you will be interacting with today. You can keep them outside this unconditionally loving safe space, or you can welcome them in. It's your decision. It's your boundary of safety and love. And wherever they are, whether inside or outside this sphere of safety, you can say some of these things to them. You can say, I would like to have a supportive day. This is what I need from you all today. And then fill in your needs, whatever comes to you. Say it in the language of a 3-year-old. I need you to be kind to me today. I need you to not ask today, or do need you to ask today. Can you just allow me some space today? Or be gentle with me today. I'd like to find my way through this. Would you just hold space with me and listen to me today? Whatever it is that you need, say it now in this space to those people. As much as you need to say, just let her rip. Say as many things as you can think of that come up from your heart through your throat and say them out loud. That's very important. This place that we started from, the strength in the feet rooted up through the belly where your emotions can really get stuck, through the heart, through the chest, the throat, the avenue of expression out through your mouth. Complete this cycle in this space here so that you say this and you give it out to the world in this safe space to the people that need to hear it, that you've brought in to this space. Again, they can be inside or outside of your safe space. You can put some in, some out. It's completely up to you. They can be a mile down the road in this if you need them to be. You may be working with a variety of people. Some you want closer than others. But say anything you need to say of what you need today. Just today. Doesn't have to be overall. We're not going for the whole enchilada here. Just today. And they might contradict themselves. Sometimes I want to be seen and heard. Sometimes I want to be invisible. Anything that comes to you. Keep saying it. And then when you're done, holding space in the center of this beautiful, loving, supportive space, release all of those others from any expectation you may have of them. Just let it go. You're not in charge of them. You don't govern them. You can't control what they do or don't do. Release them from any expectation going forward. And send them off. Now, holding this space, you give yourself a nice big hug. Take a few deep breaths. Inhaling more love and support from this safe space. Blowing out expectation. You've done what you can do. You've now done what you can do. Blow out any expectation. And as you come back into the present, dissolve that space, knowing that it's with you all the time. Knowing that you are supported and safe and loved unconditionally. I wish you a supportive, loving day that is whatever you need it to be. And I'll see you later. Take care.